Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about the single easiest passive income stream out there, and that is high interest rate savings accounts. Last month I made £200 from my high interest rate savings accounts, which literally took me less than 5 minutes to set up. In this video I'm going to be diving into what they are, why you should use them, and which ones I currently use. High interest rate savings account is my favorite type of passive income because it requires the least work to set up. So firstly, what is passive income? Passive income is money that is not directly tied to your time. For example, if you write a book, you're putting all that work in up front to publish that book, and then every time it sells, you earn money from royalties. This is in contrast to active income, which requires your time and effort to be able to earn money like a 9-to-5 corporate job. Say you have £10,000 saved in a traditional savings account at 0.1% interest, then after 1 year you would have earned £10. Now say you decide to open up and save that £10,000 in a high interest rate savings account at 2% interest, then after 1 year you would have made £200, all from just taking out 5 minutes to set up your account. So why should you use it? First, it's completely risk-free. So if you put your money into a bank or an account that's regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority, that means your money up to £85,000 is protected. So if anything happens to that bank or provider and it goes bust, then the government will just step in and make sure you get your money back. The second thing is the interest you earn up to a certain amount is completely tax-free. So if you're a basic rate taxpayer earning anything up to £50,000, then the interest you earn up to £1,000 is completely tax-free. If you're a higher rate taxpayer earning between £50,000 and £150,000, then the interest you earn up to £500 is completely tax-free. And then you also have something called cash ISAs, which is a cash individual savings account, and you're able to put in £20,000 in there every year, and any interest you earn on that £20,000 is completely tax-free regardless of your personal income. The final reason to put your money into a high interest rate savings account is because it offsets the impact of inflation. So inflation is currently around the 2.5% mark, which essentially means that stuff costs 2% more than it did the year before. If you put your money into a traditional savings account at 0.1% interest, then your money is going to be worth less and less over time, and you'll be losing out to inflation. So by taking out 5 minutes to set up a high interest rate savings account, you're protecting your money and offsetting the amount that your money is losing out to inflation. Before we go into which high interest rate savings account is the best one for you, I'm Nischa, I'm a chartered accountant and I love all things property and finance. I make weekly videos on how to make more money and save more money, so if that's for you, then please just subscribe. There are 4 types of high interest rate savings account, and the best one for you really depends on your situation. As a rule of thumb, the longer you lock your money in for, the higher the rate you're going to get. First, you have easy access savings account, and these are currently paying around the 0.6% mark. These are especially useful if you're saving for something in the short term, maybe for a holiday or for a big present. For easy access savings accounts, you'll be paid monthly rather than annually, so even if you're saving for a short term, your money will still grow. Then you have notice savings accounts, and this is when the bank or provider usually requires you to give them advance notice before you withdraw your money. This is usually around 30 days, and in return you'll be rewarded with higher interest rates. Currently, notice savings accounts are paying around the 1.1% mark. Then you have fixed rate savings accounts. These are especially useful if you have a big purchase coming up. Maybe you're looking to buy a house or buy a car, or you're saving up for a wedding, and you have money set aside that you don't want to put in stocks and shares in case it loses value by the time you need to access it. Fixed rate options are currently paying around the 2% mark, so it makes sense to put your money into a fixed rate option until you're going to need to use that money. And then you have cash ISAs, which I mentioned earlier. These are also useful if you're looking to save for the long run. They can be fixed rate or easy access savings account, and they're currently paying around the 1.5% mark. What I do is I put some of my emergency funds and the next 3 to 6 months of expenses into an easy access savings account, which I can tap into at any time, and then I put some of my cash into a fixed rate option where I can lock in those higher rates today. There are 3 main things you need to look out for when you're picking out the best high interest rate account for you. First, it's the interest rate. Don't necessarily go for the highest paying interest rate. There may be some other fees that are associated with it, so you're ideally looking for one that has 0 maintenance fees. There are also banks and providers that provide you with a high interest rate to start off with as an incentive, that then reduces below the average after a certain amount of time. So ideally you're looking for one with a long high interest rate period and also one with 0 fees. The second thing you need to look out for is the amount that you could earn the money on. Usually there's a cap amount, so you could earn, for example, 1.5 or 2% interest on your savings up to £2,000. If you have savings above that £2,000, it makes sense for you to open up another bank account for your savings above that £2,000 so you can maximize the interest you are able to earn. The final point is to make sure that that bank or provider is FCA regulated. So if anything happens or if that bank or provider goes bust, you can ensure that your money is protected. Personally, I use Marcus by Goldman's and I've been using them for a couple of years now. The platform is really easy to use, the customer service is great, but they have slashed their interest rates and they are no longer the highest paying. There are higher paying ones in the UK, Nationwide Flex, Claro and Virgin are some of the few. Whilst I put some of my money into high interest rate savings accounts, I also like to take a bit more risk with my money and seek higher reward. And so I've also invested my money into accounts linked to the stock market. This is especially useful if you're not looking to touch that money for the next 5 years. And I'll be making a video on that more specifically. But for those of you that may need the funds in the short term, then high interest rate savings accounts are a great way to go in the short term.